All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Team England versus Team. Wait, is it all versus Team Waterball? I should probably check this. No, wait. So Torquemada is in fact Team England versus ECBBL. I don't know what that is. I'm just doing this to look at good games. Yeah, Verdansk is back, Lucas. I'm gonna try and get Red back to do it for a bit as well. You're right. I think we should get back together. It'd be fun, right? Um, so this is Torquemada for Team England versus Loose Goose for Team ECBBL. If anyone in chat knows what ECBBL is, feel free to tell me. Torquemada is playing Vampires. ECBBL Loose Goose is playing High Elves. As you can see, they're on Fumble. Jim is doing most of the Blood Bowl 3 games. So I'm going to try and cover some of the Fumble games. I do warn you that two things. One, they haven't asked me to do this. So you might be annoyed if you're one of the people that I'm doing the games for, but you're playing in public, so there's that. And two, it's not personal, right? If I say something's bad or shit, doesn't mean you personally are bad or shit. The thing that you did in this children's video game we all play is bad or shit. That's all it means. Please try not to cry and like send me weird messages and stuff. It gets very, very boring. Hello, JB. Why have we got no sound? I guess the sound will start on turn one. So, talking of the high elves, we have a dodge. Okay, it did, yeah. So, we have a dodge wrestle catcher. We have a blodge blitzer, a blodge tackle blitzer, a dodge catcher, and a wrestle catcher. And then we have one reserve and no Apo. As far as the vampires go, let's take a look. We've got a block thrower. We got a leader thrower. I should put that on there. Oh, wait, pause. We've got a strip ball blitzer and we've got a frenzy blitzer. Interesting. Don't like it, but interesting. And two dodge runners. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not certain what the rules of Euro Bowl allow for vampires. I actually prefer the five vampire build, especially particularly if it allows you to stack on any of the vampires, so you can take a blodge vampire. I feel like babysitting the two blitzers is always a pain in the ass, and five vampires is more than enough to play a game of Blood Bowl. It probably also, with the money saved, will give you a fourth reroll as well, so you have four and leader. I just preferred it. It's not that it's automatically better or anything. It doesn't make it so that I'm right and you're wrong. So far I just preferred it. I've only played like 25 games, so let's not, think that I'm the best or anything. This is interesting, isn't it? He's just based these. It looks like he's just gonna do the usual vampire thing of try to two-turn. I don't know how much I particularly care about doing this when the opponent is elves or anything that doesn't have mighty blow. I think playing out an 8-turn drive is completely fine. They don't have a great 1-turn, especially against strength 4 pieces. So I think you can just play out an 8-turn drive. I've tested it both ways. The problem with the 2-turn is, of course, it's risk. You roll in a bunch of snakes, something could go wrong. You just lose the game immediately. I get it when your opponent has a load of block and some mighty blow, and you can start losing players by just farting about. Whereas if you 2-turn against Bash, they have to protect the ball against the vampires. They don't get to base you all up and start taking blocks and things. They have to care about getting sacked. Elves, you shouldn't have to worry too much about getting murdered. So I don't know. I would kind of not bother. So a pitch invasion happens, and all that happens is this middle guy is stunned. Push skull. And we're already biting thralls, look, on like turn 1. And throwing a pass. I thought he was set up there to take a block because he's got block, and we got another thrall bite here. And he's gone. This is the problem, right? You can eat these if you're on defense, or if you're already like just farting around. You can even just set up the vampires so you don't have to move them on turn 1. Why are you dodging? Just stay there, right? If you stay there, if he wants to take a 2 dice block, he has to, like, so this I think is bad. Like, you've already removed one of your own players. So this guy like can't do anything. So if he wants to take a 2 dice block, he has to spend one of his players to do it. Now, he doesn't want to just give you the score for free. So he's probably not going to waste one of his players to take this 2 dice block. He wants to try and get in front with you as many players. So just stay there. Don't risk killing your own thrall for... it's not just a dodge that achieves basically nothing. I guess he was really desperate to like cover the back, but like, to what? To his opponent red dicing you? Doesn't have strip ball? I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even like worry if he was going to plan on coming round the back and red dicing me from this square. Yeah, okay, 25% into 1 in 8, into 1 in 3, like crazy bad dice. But the most likely thing that happens is you get to surf whoever's round you. I mean, it's free, basic, but it's only 25% to work. And you have to base one of these 2 players to even attempt it. Otherwise, it's triple red dice. So instead, he's just getting in the way and forcing the vampires to roll more dice, hoping he can burn rerolls so that they don't have them to take the ball off him on his drive. Went for he could have taken the block. Look, he has block and she doesn't. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. He wanted to push the vampire back. He thought that was more important because it means that it's harder to score. Rolling more dice to score means more likelihood to take the reroll. So I don't hate that decision to do that instead. I'll be honest with you, taking the block also would have been fine. It's not like one's bad and one's good. Taking the block would have been fine. It's armor 7. You could even kill a vampire. But a stun alone means that he has to get through the wall of elves with 2 dodgeless vampires who have to roll a 3+ bloodlust if all they're doing is hypnoing. So I actually probably would have taken the block there. But either way is fine. I don't think either way is bad here. Full pow on the blodger there into a stun. And doesn't even burn a reroll on the 5 2s in a row he just rolled. And then the kickoff event was double ones. Oh, it hasn't happened yet. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so this is kind of interesting, just setting up in boring rule of 5. I don't like this. I never really like this because it doesn't give you any real reactivity if you get like a blitz. And I don't think it's necessary to protect all of your vampires that much. You can do it by just having strength 4 out in the open, which you have anyway, right? I would rather have 2 players over here, and then you know what I like to do, the offset chevrons. I just think it's a better reactive, and it forces your opponent to spread out more, right? At the moment, he doesn't have to cover this side at all because there's not only as he done offset this way, so he has no threats that way, but he's put both of his fast players on this side, so nobody can get around there at all. So I don't like that. Even if you're going to do this, stick one of the fast ones over there. This is Team England versus Team ECBBL. I don't know who ECBBL is. Team England have taken practice games against ECBBL and Team Water Bowl, and they're going to do more practice games after this. Like basically the whole 12 of Team England are playing one each of the other things. So it's just 12v12 randomly assigned, I assume. Random draws. So you couldn't, like, counter pick with teams. Yeah, so Jim is covering the because some players in both Team England and in their opposing choices, ECBBL or Water Bowl, don't have Blood Bowl 3 or don't play Blood Bowl 3. Some games are being played, or the teams are not available on Blood Bowl 3, like, for example, Vampires here. Some games are being played on Fumble and some are being played on Blood Bowl 3. Jim is covering the Blood Bowl 3 ones, although I might also do some Penguin Academy on them, and I'm going to do the Fumble ones. Again, what's with the rando dodging with the armor 7 pieces? Just why? Just goes back into position as well. Just stays as rule of 5, which again I don't particularly like. Yeah, okay, you're risking doing the bloodlusts, but you could always just eat a bloodlust, right? If you just send a strength 4 piece over here, just eat a bloodlust and not bite. But I would just like a little bit of width, right? Something to stop him claiming space with double screens. Just something. This is way too passive, and then just hoping for that, like, roll 57 dice turn. All right, so what can you do if you're vampires here? I mean, the leader thrower is perfect for just hypnoing people. So that's what he's going to do here. He's going to hypno the blodger. So obviously he can blitz the blodger. It won't have blodge anymore, and he can just screen in front. Then you probably want to also use one of these runners to come round and hypno the catcher, because then the catcher can't receive the ball without activating. That's normally how you deal with these breakaway pieces. Be interesting to see what he does with the blitzers, whether he blitzes with the blitzer, because they do have Juggernaut, and otherwise moving them is a nightmare. So he might blitz with the Frenzy Blitzer. You might see him blitz with the Frenzy Blitzer here, just to move him on a 2+ instead of a 3+. Because you can leave the other one where he is, because it's actually a pretty good diagonal block, this guy. But look at all of these. That's 4 of his thralls are all just completely on the floor and completely surrounded. That to me smacks of just bad placement. You shouldn't be in this position. Oh, he's going for this. This is like a million dice turn by the look of it. Like he just used a blitzer to do a hypno, so he's making a play here. Had to use a reroll there for the rush. So he's going to go in. He's going to try and surf the ball. If you can see the angle he just went through, he might try and one dice surf the ball, or he might, because then he can leave this one for recovery if it works. Nope. Went for the 2 dice and burned another reroll. Took the Juggernaut. Oh, God, and burnt another reroll. And, of course, has no one for recovery now. So the ball's just gone. So he did the rush with the Thrall so that if he rolled a Bloodlust, he'd have someone to bite. Because he couldn't go do it from this square and bite this one because that's his route to the sack. So he needed someone to be able to bite when he hypnoed this player. But see, even though this was a clever play to work out, but exactly what I said is the problem, right? It's worked, but now what? You've used 3 rerolls and you don't have the ball. It does do a 2+, but if you snake, it doesn't end your turn if you snake the Bloodlust. The Thrall being there overall is just better, right? And if you snake the Bloodlust next, it doesn't matter because you can still bite. Not that you would have re-rolled the Bloodlust, but the Thrall being there is just fine. It's better than not being there. It's more about what you get for the same 2+. For the same 2+, you get 2 players here, right? I think that he should have worked it out so that there was someone for recovery, because this is pointless, isn't it? There's no one here for recovery. You could even have just risked the 1 dice frenzy. It's just silly. Now he just gets to surf some vampires and then go and pick up the ball and score. And they're both fine. So in the end, doesn't even hurt him. And even burns a reroll of the High Elves. So there we go. It's turn 4. They've both scored. So when you're a decent player, like Torquemada's a decent player, but you could be what the best player in the world. Like one of the people who would always be in conversation with best player in the world, K-Fool. Like I remember there's similar things happening back in Blood Bowl 2 when he joined. Like sometimes you get caught up in the clever puzzle that you've solved, right? It happened back at like I remember K-Fool doing this incredible like push play, like which needed like 5 blocks and a dodge and stuff like that to push someone through the opposing lines and dodge away and score, and it all worked. And everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is why K-Fool's like the best player in the world." And just to be a dick, because like I didn't have to say it, but it was true, I pointed out that it was actually worse odds to do what he did than to just run a player into the end zone and throw a 5+ pass. Like he came up with an incredibly complicated, clever solution that was actually just worse than the simple solution. And that, you know, similar thing just happened there, right? That like it wasn't that complicated, like just hypnoing your way to the ball, but he put in the people, you know, he did everything right in the right order without having worked out in advance that nobody was going to be left if he surfed the ball. Like it was just going to go wherever it was going to go, and the likelihood was the elves were just going to pick it back up, and you were going to get 2 vampires surfed as a result. Like that doesn't seem like a good play when you put it forward like that. If you just tell someone, "Oh man, I just need to roll like, you know, 10 2+s and I can surf the ball," that sounds good. But when you point out, well, yeah, but you won't have any recovery and 2 of your vampires are going to get surfed, not so good. So sometimes people are too clever for their own good. And just to be clear, I do it. Like any good player ends up doing that because they're good. So they see all those options. Ha ha ha! Torquemada just got conned. I didn't notice it until too late. Did anyone see what just happened? Anyone paying enough attention? Loose Goose swapped his catches. He left the setup exactly the same as the last time, but swapped his catches. So this one has dodge now. Whereas before this one was just wrestle. He swapped the catches around, and Torque just did the exact same setup and the exact same blitz. Whereas Torque should have reversed it and gone this way to hit the one without dodge. He actually bamboozled him. I don't. Why is this Armor 7 runner being used as the forward scout when there's a block tackle piece right there? And again. And again, he does a dodge. Stop doing the dodges. Absolutely irrelevant dodge. It's such a messy, like, two-turn, isn't it? If you look back at his setup, what a messy setup for a two-turn this is. Why are they like this? The catcher's really far back. This guy could be on the LOS to be closer. This guy could be on the LOS to be closer. Like, why are they back? They're not grabbing enough forward space. And this is not a good position, like, on a two-turn. You're just going to get this one twatted. Neither of these are in scoring range. This one just gets marked. No one cares about that. There's going to be a lot of elves in your way. You're not going to score this next turn, and you're going to have to set it up. You also better hope this isn't a POW. And there's a stun. And he took the POW. He took the double down, I mean. To reduce her movement. And also, he better chance of stunning the vampire than himself. Of the three not Team England coaches I've seen so far, like, it's only half a drive, but Loose Goose is better than the other two. Ugh. Okay. What can you do here as the High Elves, and do you want to do any of it? So you can obviously red dice the ball. It's simple, right? You can red dice with wrestle, 25%. Don't think there's any way to 2D the ball. Sorry, 1D the ball. Like, there are chain pushes available, but you can only chain into one of these two, and you can only yeah, I guess you could. It's not a good one though. You get a 1 dice on a block piece is not great. So maybe red dice or wrestle. Too much effort to do anything else, or he just doesn't bother. And takes another turn of just getting in the way and making it very difficult for the vampires to score. Be interesting to see which one he chooses to do. I'm kind of interested myself. Oh my god, that was a whistle. He's moved one guy. I'm never watching these live, by the way. I don't know what the hell's going on with these players, but damn, that all these games have been super slow. Wait, that can't be real. That's got to be the full time for the game, right? There's no way that just these 6 turns took an hour and a half. Okay, yeah, it hasn't moved. Thank fuck for that. So he's just going to blitz and push him backwards. So he can't score this turn. Gives it another chance for the vampires to screw up, right? Which is fine. Oh, they had bribes. Man, that was risky. He fouled with the Blodge Blitzer. Okay, that I don't like. Bribes do fail. I don't like blitzing. I don't like fouling with something you give a shit about. Okay, doesn't 1 in 36 and lose. Let's remove that thrall, though. Oh, my days. What's happening? Is he trying to score? I think he's trying to just score this turn. Wait, he didn't have any rerolls and he was just going for the double rush? When the elves can score? Ooh, I do not like that. I missed the lack of rerolls, just trying to bang it in there. Yeah, okay, 70%, but 30% to not score is massive. Don't like it. Needed a completely different turn to that. I'd have to go back and see what I would have done, but Jesus, no. Like, there were a lot of dice he was rolling in there. Like, with apparently 1 reroll. So, no. Come up with a better turn. Now, as the High Elves, let's work out how you can score, right? "13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This catcher cannot score. No, wait. This catcher can score. 4 rushes, 2 rerolls. Okay, this catcher it can just score. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, there we go. This catcher can score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hand off. And full potato. And get a screen in front of it as well. Yeah, anything could have gone wrong. Bloodlust could have gone wrong. Any of the Hypnos could have gone wrong. Like, to eat that 1 reroll. So that's the play. In my opinion, you dodge with dodge to pick up the ball and you hand off to this catcher who then just comes through here and buggers off out of range of vampires. And then you take a 2 dice block and these two come down and screen. Which of these do you... Okay. Okay, I don't like that or that. I guess he's caring a lot about these failing. I don't mind him picking the blitz and stuff first, but this is a lot of covering for failure over preparing for success. I would like to try and prepare for success here. Wait, he's just gone in his own way, hasn't he? There was a diagonal... He's just added an extra rush. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, he's added an extra rush by putting this guy here, which is shit, isn't it? Like, you should know that the route you're having to go. You've got 2 rerolls. You only want to take 3 rushes, not all 4. You cannot, Blackmane, no. And so the problem here is he stood in Cunt's column, and because he did all of this first, he hasn't got a defense without more 2+s, which means that if the vampires do roll a POW, it could go in the crowd. What? What? What are you doing? Just tag him. Ugh, I hate that he didn't. I guess maybe he wanted a second scoring threat. I don't know why, though, because surely if you can't hit this scoring threat, you don't need a second one. I think it was better to just use the first 2+ that you definitely rolled to tag him. Who else is hitting the ball? No one. 3, 4, 5, 6. This thrall, who that could have like covered, right? If you put the wrestler here and this here, then you got 2 there and this guy and this guy. That's not getting to the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, just cover this guy. Too greedy. I guess it doesn't matter anyway. What are you doing a rush for? Absolute madman. Burned a reroll on it. Just don't do it. Reduced his odds of scoring significantly. Killed his own player and didn't hypno. And then snaked the dodge. See, the problem is that now Torque will probably remember how shit like that turn was and think he was diced when really that was just nothing. It was irrelevant. He wasn't sacking that ball, right? He's trying to sack the ball. Oh, regen really helped there. And there we go. 2-1 on the Vampires drive. It wasn't the dicing. So the Vampires getting a blitz is good. The one thing I will say when Vampires get a blitz is Vampires cannot hypno on a blitz. So it ain't as good as it looks. It would be insane if they could hypno on a blitz. Did not go in the crowd. Gives him a shot. Especially as the... okay, so I guess we can talk about this. I don't like that he put his blitzers on the LOS here. I don't like that because of the chance of a blitz. He protected against the blitz, as in like because the vampires weren't wide, he only had to do these chevrons. But look how deep this is, and your tackle blitzer is on the LOS taking a block. You got a wrestler to do that. You got a wrestler to do that. The tackle blitzer should be back to protect against the blitz. Probably just the back of one of these 2 chevrons is good enough. Hello, Nordic. Oh, okay. Okay. That's the first time I've seen him do something stupid. There's absolutely no way that this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy are going to be staying in those squares. So do not take, in fact, you shouldn't be taking any of the LOS blocks or even the blitz because, like, these guys are not going anywhere affected by any of these blocks. So they should move. And it's a very good example of why I keep saying to people when they say, oh, it's just 2 dice with block. This is why, right? If it isn't drummed into you to do your turn ordering correctly, because it's just 2 dice with block, it isn't drummed into you, so you will make the mistake that he just did of making 2 dice without block, of making a 3 dice without block. Like, people will make those mistakes if it's not drummed into you to do the fucking safe moves first. It's such a basic mantra that people just will not get through their head. It's crazy. If that was a 1 in 81, he's in all kinds of trouble again. Like, there's just a straight gap up here to, like, get to the thrower. And look, what a surprise. That guy's just moving. And that. So the vampire's turn consisted of removing one of his own players, not taking a blitz, and then pressing end turn, essentially. What a terrible turn. And there goes another thrall. And there goes that vampire. This is okay. So this is terrible from the elves. The ball needed to be a 1 back or 1 over here or something. This is basically a couple of 2s, right? So you can put the thrall around the back to cover all of these players. You hypno this guy. You stand someone here, and then it's 2 dice with strip right there. Admittedly, not a crazy amount of recovery or anything, but the ball is suddenly on the floor, which it shouldn't be. Okay, you just go there instead then. Why would you do the hypno as a 3+? That's weird. Now you gotta use a different vampire to do the hypno. I guess he was because this is. I guess it's not that bad because this is a 3+ to move him to tag this guy, so it's not that bad. Classic magnet hands. And then a dub skull into his own armor break. Alright, the dice are starting to hurt a little bit on the vamps now. Both of them getting sloppier with their play as well. Two stuns. The other thrall jammed against the sideline. Very, very loose play here. Oh, and there goes a vampire. Okay, that probably is it. I think that's the win right there. This turn is going to be his only chance, right? Hypno the cage and hope for a pow with the block vampire. I think you might have to go for a 3+ hypno as well, so you've got some kind of recovery. This is the turn where I think you have no choice but to go for a 3+ hypno. Hypno from this square, so you cover him. So when you dodge out and come in here, that's an actual 2 dice block. If you hypno from down these squares to guarantee the hypno more, you got to then waste your only recovery to tag him. So I think this is where it's justified. And this is the turn. This is the turn where he decides to not do it. Great. I think that was a mistake. I think you have no option here. You're running out of players. You've got to get the ball. He did sack him, and no recovery. Oh, I take it back. Easy recovery by just walking in and picking it up in 2 tackle zones with the guy who blitzed. My bad. No. No, no, no. Why? Why wouldn't you just stand up? Why are you doing that dodge? Eat the wrestler or something. Like, he's not going to risk blocking you with a blockless player, but it eats the wrestler. Oh, I hate that dodge. I hate it. It doesn't even do... I guess he's really trying desperately to get into scoring range. But at this point, if you got into scoring range and then you scored, the elves would just quick score. You still lose. I think you had to, like, try and keep the ball more than anything else here. And you didn't. He's gonna kick. Surely he's gonna kick that. Yeah, and it's dead. Okay, that was a turn of events. So, in case you didn't know what was going on there, because it's fumble, this blitzer doesn't have block, and he rolled a 2 into 1 because it has frenzy. And on the one, they rolled a double down, didn't use Juggernaut, just took the sack, killed the High Elf, but obviously ended his turn. And then the High Elves magnet hands the ball again. Not that it was unlikely. There are literally 6 elves standing around where the ball was sacked from, but still funny, right? Five vampires on the pitch now. Like, it's just lost, isn't it? And I genuinely think this could be traced all the way back to the start, right? The thing that I said, I didn't know how this game was going to go, but like, I don't think the right play against elves is to two-turn as vampires. I just don't. Especially not armor 8 elves like high elves and dark elves, where you're unlikely to do damage and you're likely to take damage as your armor 7. I just don't think it's the right play. It's difficult to take the ball off them. And even though Loose Goose did give up the ball, it was in such a way that it required basically all of Torquemada's team. So he didn't do anything when he sacked the ball. I'm not saying much because it was over like 2 turns ago. Torque is a very experienced vampire coach, though, so I don't think that really applies to him. I just think that he made the wrong choices a couple of times there. I don't like, I mean, it's not wrong, right, to 2-turn, as I said all the way at the start. I just don't like it. I prefer to do, like, against teams that aren't likely to bang you out and are difficult to take the ball off in a meaningful way, because they can just pick it back up and be away easily. I feel like you can play a longer drive. It doesn't even have to be an 8-turn drive, right? It just doesn't have to be a 2-turn. You can just play a longer drive. If you bang it in on turn 4, you've got 4 turns to turn them over, and they are more stretched. I talk about this a lot when I just play normal games. Like, it's just strategy in general. Like, people who have good ball hawks don't have to bang a 2-turn in. Like, you kind of want to drag it out a couple of turns. I think the best turn to score is usually turn 4. And the worst turn to score is turn 6. No worries. Good night, Basic. Night, G. He's got all his vampires. He can one turn here. He's even got a reroll. This is an odd choice of the elves to just backline. Talk's going to take his time to set this up. All right, hang on. Has he done that right? So I don't know if he's done this right. In fact, I'm going to say that he hasn't. Right. So let's press pause. So I think he hasn't left himself a redundancy here, and he should have done. So this player here should be here. And the reason being, it's not needed for this chain, right? He's going to chain straight down into her, into her, into her, into her, right? So this play is not needed for the chain. And if it's here, and this is a POW, you can eat the POW because you have the redundancy of this block. Because you can put two players above, and then this block will chain the player that's here forward. And then this player, who's now standing underneath this, can do the last block to push them again. So this over here gives you a redundancy, and it's doing nothing in general. So I think this is a slight error. If you watch this talk, I think you should think about that. And he had to, look at that, he had to re-roll the POW. Had to. Because he had no redundancy. Oh, he's blitzing with the frenzy piece even. Okay, he didn't have to blitz with the frenzy piece either. He could have just blitzed with this one. It does change things a little. The second block for the frenzy was 3 dice. So it does get you to there. But as I said, there's no redundancy. But for so the frenzy piece could have come in later. I think you still should have set this up differently to have that redundancy. Because if that was a POW, you still can't do anything, right? If the second block, even though it was 3 dice, was a POW, which it easily could be. Oh, no, wait, you can have redundancy here. You can fill in these 3 squares and there. Although, again, this guy could just be there anyway, right? I still prefer it my way. The frenzy does make a slight difference, but not enough that you can't waste your only was only reroll. You had leader, I forgot. Can't waste a reroll on that. It's not to draw anyway, so it's just for practice. But that makes it even more important. Wait, what? Okay, I do like that. That's pretty cool. Except for that pass was terrible. I do like I'm guessing that's why he set it up that way. It still doesn't need this guy, so this guy can still be a redundant backup. But I do like that it pushes the forward and why he did it with the frenzy piece. So there we go. I do like that. So he could do this and then not have to dodge. I do like that. That's nice. That's a cute way of doing it when you've got 2 vampires. That's the kind of thing that a bunch of practice will get you. But I still think that this guy being a redundant backup is better. In fact, I'm not even going to keep saying I think. It definitely is, because it's doing literally nothing standing there.
Okay, there we go. Uh, that was a reasonable matchup. Like that wasn't like the other two, which were walkovers. Loose Goose was solid, not like a top level player or anything, but a solid player. Like that was a decent showing from him.